Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Elena, your host for today's lesson. I am so genuinely happy that you are here with me. If you are new to the channel, let me tell you that we upload new English learning lessons every single day to help you improve your English faster and speak with more confidence. Today's masterclass is something special. In this lesson, you are going to learn advanced English phrases that you can use all day in everyday life to sound more fluent, more natural, and more expressive. These phrases will help you strengthen both your English listening and your English speaking skills, and they will slowly train your brain to think in English instead of translating word by word. In today's session, we will go through rich, real-life examples that show you how advanced speakers use these phrases naturally in conversations. You will hear how the sentence flows, how the rhythm works, and how you can add these expressions to your daily life without feeling uncomfortable or unsure. These phrases will help you start conversations, continue conversations, express your emotions, share opinions, handle daily situations, and speak English with more ease and confidence. By the end of this video, you will understand how to use these advanced expressions in different situations, and you will feel more prepared to speak naturally throughout your day. I will guide you step by step, and I will share powerful practice exercises that you can repeat along with me to build real fluency. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more helpful English learning episodes like this. So, take a deep breath, stay relaxed, and get ready. Let's begin this fluency masterclass together. The first thing I want you to remember in this masterclass is that advanced English does not always mean complicated English. It means expressive English, natural English, English that helps you communicate your thoughts clearly, confidently, and effortlessly. When you listen to fluent speakers, you will notice that they use certain phrases again and again throughout their day. Not because those phrases are fancy, but because they allow them to express subtle meanings, soft emotions, and real daily life ideas. So, as we begin today's lesson, I want you to simply relax and absorb the rhythm, the tone, and the natural flow of these phrases. Think of this session as a long, calm conversation between you and me, a space where you can practice English gently, without pressure and without feeling rushed. Let's start with a phrase that advanced speakers use constantly in everyday life. The phrase is, "I've been meaning to." This is a beautiful expression that you can use from morning to night. It implies that you have had an intention to do something, but life got in the way. It softens the feeling of procrastination. For example, imagine you run into an old friend. You can say, "I've been meaning to invite you over for dinner." Or perhaps you are at work. You might say, "I've been meaning to review those files, but I haven't had the time." Or simply, "I've been meaning to try that new Italian restaurant downtown." When you say it out loud, repeat it slowly with me. I've been meaning to. Feel how smooth it sounds. Try to picture a real situation from your life, something you have been delaying. Say it naturally to yourself, letting the phrase guide your thoughts. This is how fluency develops: slow, real, emotional repetition. Another phrase that advanced speakers use all the time is, "I can't get over how." This phrase helps you express surprise, shock, joy, or even disbelief. It emphasizes that your reaction is strong and lasting. For instance, when you see a child who has grown up quickly, you can say, I can't get over how tall your son has become. Or if you are impressed by a colleague's work, you might say, I can't get over how organized this presentation is. Even for simple things, like the weather, you can say, I can't get over how quickly the temperature dropped today. This phrase adds emotion to your language and helps your English feel more expressive. Take a moment. Think of something that surprised you recently. Now repeat slowly, I can't get over how. And complete the sentence in your mind. Feel how the sentence flows through your thoughts, not through memorization. That is fluency. Now, imagine you are having a conversation with a friend, a coworker, or someone you just met. You want to sound natural, confident, and expressive. One of the most powerful phrases for this is, what I appreciate about. This phrase helps you sound thoughtful, mature, and emotionally aware. It shifts the focus to gratitude and specific details. You can use it in daily life, at work, in casual conversations, or even during small talk. For example, what I appreciate about this city is the public transportation. Or in a relationship, what I appreciate about your advice is that you are always honest. At work, you could say, what I appreciate about this team is our ability to solve problems quickly. This phrase builds emotional connection. And fluent English is not just about vocabulary. It is about connection. So practice with me slowly. What I appreciate about. Then add something simple, something real, something honest. While you are practicing these phrases, remember that fluency is not a race. It is a slow, gentle training of your brain. You don't need to force yourself. You don't need to sound perfect. You simply need to repeat naturally and allow your mind to get used to these advanced patterns. Let's continue with more daily life expressions that you can use throughout your day. Another powerful phrase for everyday use is, the thing is. This is one of the most common phrases used by fluent speakers when they want to explain something, clarify something, or express a deeper thought that might be contradictory. You can say, the thing is, we don't have the budget for that right now. Or perhaps, the thing is, I already promised my sister I would help her. Or even, the thing is, I actually prefer staying in tonight. This expression softens your speech and makes you sound more natural and conversational. Try saying it slowly with me. The thing is. Notice how it creates a gentle pause before your explanation. Use it whenever you need time to think. It works beautifully in real conversations. Another advanced expression is, I'm not quite sure, but... This phrase helps you sound confident even when you are uncertain. In English, fluent speakers don't just say, I don't know. They soften their speech. They express uncertainty in a polite, natural way. For example, I'm not quite sure, but I believe the meeting is in the main conference room. Or, I'm not quite sure, but I think we met at the conference last year. Or simply, I'm not quite sure, but let me find out for you. Practicing this phrase will help you sound more flexible, more professional, and more natural in conversations. Say it with me. I'm not quite sure, but... Now imagine you are starting your morning routine. You walk into the kitchen. You make your coffee or tea. You begin thinking about your day. This is a perfect moment to practice advanced English phrases internally inside your mind. For example, you might say to yourself, at the end of the day, what matters is that I tried my best. Or, as far as I can tell, the weather is going to be perfect. Or, from what I understand, the project deadline has been extended. These expressions flow naturally and can be used many times throughout your day. Let them become part of your thinking, because when your thoughts shift to English, your fluency grows automatically. Another advanced phrase that adds elegance to your speech is, "I'd like to get a better handle on." This means you want to understand something more deeply or control a situation better. You can say, "I'd like to get a better handle on this new software." Or regarding your finances, "I'd like to get a better handle on my monthly expenses." Or even emotionally, "I'd like to get a better handle on my anxiety before the presentation." Repeat it slowly. "I'd like to get a better handle on." Again, picture a real part of your life that fits this phrase. The connection between language and real experience is what builds true fluency. Let's practice another phrase that fluent speakers love. "If I'm being honest." This phrase allows you to speak with sincerity. It makes your communication more open, more natural, and more emotionally real. It signals that you are about to share a truth that might be vulnerable. For example, "If I'm being honest, I'm a little nervous about the interview." Or, "If I'm being honest, I didn't enjoy that movie very much." Or simply, "If I'm being honest, I just need a quiet evening alone." When you use this phrase, you invite the listener into a more personal space, and this helps build confidence and deeper communication. Repeat gently with me, "If I'm being honest." As you continue learning these phrases, imagine yourself using them in real life. Think of conversations at work, at home, at school, or with friends. Visualize yourself speaking slowly, clearly, calmly. This mental practice is just as important as speaking practice. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let the language flow through you without pressure. Let's continue with another phrase that is extremely useful. "I'll see what I can do." Fluent speakers use this phrase when they want to show willingness without giving a strong promise. It is polite but non-committal. You can say, "I'll see what I can do about changing your appointment time." Or, "I'll see what I can do to fix this error." Or simply, "I'll see what I can do to get there early." Repeat it softly and let the phrase become part of your natural speaking toolkit. Another advanced phrase is, "It's been on my mind." Use this when you have been thinking about something for a while, perhaps a worry or an idea. For example, "It's been on my mind that we should renovate the kitchen." Or, "It's been on my mind to reach out to my old professor." Or a heavy thought, "The news about the economy has been on my mind." Say it slowly. Feel the emotional weight of the phrase. It helps you speak naturally with depth. Let's add one more English phrase. The phrase is, "for what it's worth." This is an elegant, advanced expression that helps you share an opinion softly, acknowledging that your opinion might not solve everything, but you offer it anyway. You can say, "For what it's worth, I think you made the right choice." Or, "For what it's worth, I really enjoyed your presentation." Or, to comfort someone, "For what it's worth, I've been in your shoes and it gets better." Use this phrase to express gentle opinions in a polite, thoughtful, confident way. When you practice advanced English phrases, it is important to connect each expression to a real situation in your daily life. This helps your mind remember the phrase emotionally, not mechanically. So let's continue by exploring more expressions that fluent speakers use constantly, often without even noticing. One of those expressions is, "I'm working on getting better at." This phrase is perfect for personal growth, self-improvement, or soft conversation topics. You can say, "I'm working on getting better at saying no to things I don't have time for." Or, "I'm working on getting better at cooking healthy meals." Or professionally, "I'm working on getting better at public speaking." Say it with me slowly. "I'm working on getting better at." Now connect it to something real in your life. Feel how the sentence becomes more meaningful when it reflects your truth. Another daily phrase you can use is, "It caught me off guard." This expression means something surprised you, perhaps because you weren't prepared for it. For example, "His sudden resignation caught me off guard." Or, "The complexity of the exam caught me off guard." Or socially, "Her question about my salary caught me off guard." This phrase sounds advanced and natural because fluent speakers often express emotional reactions rather than simply stating facts. To build fluency, think about moments recently when something surprised you. Then say, "It caught me off guard." Notice the calm, controlled rhythm of the phrase. That rhythm is part of fluent speaking. Another powerful expression you can use all day is, "I'm trying to wrap my head around." This means you are trying to understand something that feels complex, confusing, or unbelievable. You might say, "I'm trying to wrap my head around these new tax regulations." Or, "I'm trying to wrap my head around why the car broke down again." Or emotionally, "I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that we are moving next week." This phrase adds emotional depth to your language. Repeat slowly, "I'm trying to wrap my head around." Now, choose something from your life that still feels confusing or unclear and complete the sentence naturally. Now, imagine yourself starting a conversation with someone. You want to add warmth and depth to your message. One of the best expressions for this is, "I just wanted to take a moment to." It is polite, soft, and very natural in advanced English. For example, "I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you on the promotion." Or, "I just wanted to take a moment to clarify my previous email." Or simply, "I just wanted to take a moment to enjoy the view." This phrase is perfect for personal, friendly, or professional communication. Now, say it with me. "I just wanted to take a moment to..." Allow your voice to relax as you practice. Fluency grows when the mind and body are calm. Another expression you will hear a lot from native speakers is, "It wouldn't hurt to." This is a gentle suggestion, softer than giving advice directly. For example, "It wouldn't hurt to double-check the reservation." Or, "It wouldn't hurt to bring an umbrella just in case." Or, when giving career advice, "It wouldn't hurt to update your resume." Use this phrase when you want to offer ideas without sounding forceful or demanding. Try it slowly. "It wouldn't hurt to." Then complete it with something simple from your day. Let's continue with another essential phrase. "I'm beginning to realize that." This phrase helps you express new understanding or growth. You might say, "I'm beginning to realize that multitasking actually slows me down." Or, "I'm beginning to realize that he was right all along." Or deeply, "I'm beginning to realize that happiness comes from within." This expression brings emotional maturity into your English. Repeat gently, "I'm beginning to realize that," and then complete a thought that feels true to you. Another powerful phrase you can use in daily life is, "It's not just about." Fluent speakers love this phrase because it helps expand meaning and show deeper insight. You can say, "It's not just about the money, it's about the job satisfaction." Or, "It's not just about winning, it's about playing fair." Or regarding language, "It's not just about memorizing words, it's about understanding culture." Repeat slowly, "It's not just about." This expression is great for explanations and deeper discussions. Now, let's practice a phrase used constantly during conversations. "What I'm trying to say is..." This phrase helps you sound natural when you want to explain something more clearly or summarize your point. For example, "What I'm trying to say is that we need to be more careful next time." Or, "What I'm trying to say is that I value our friendship." or when you are frustrated. What I'm trying to say is that this solution isn't working. This is a perfect filler phrase, one that gives you time to think while still sounding fluent. Try it slowly. What I'm trying to say is, another daily expression is, I didn't expect that to happen. This helps you talk about surprise or unexpected moments in a soft, natural way. You can say, I didn't expect that to happen during the live broadcast. Or, I didn't expect that to happen so late in the game. Or simply, I didn't expect that to happen to me. Repeat it with emotional rhythm. I didn't expect that to happen. As you continue practicing, imagine real scenarios. Imagine waking up in the morning, planning your day, checking your messages, talking to people, facing small challenges, learning something new. These moments are your practice ground. For example, when you wake up and feel tired, you can say to yourself, it feels like one of those days where I need extra coffee. When you solve a problem, you can say, I think I finally figured out the glitch. When you feel unsure, you can say, I'm still trying to decide which path to take. Each expression builds natural fluency. Another advanced phrase you will love is, I'm keeping an open mind. This means you are willing to consider different ideas or possibilities without judging immediately. For example, I'm keeping an open mind about the new management style. Or, I'm keeping an open mind about trying sushi. Or, regarding the future, I'm keeping an open mind about where I might live next year. Repeat calmly. I'm keeping an open mind. Another expression is, it's safe to say that. This helps you sound confident when you are making a conclusion based on evidence. You can say, it's safe to say that the event was a huge success. Or, it's safe to say that winter is officially here. Or, it's safe to say that we are all tired. Try repeating it gently. It's safe to say that. Now imagine you are reflecting on your progress in English. You might want to express motivation, progress, or small victories. This is when you can use the phrase, I'm slowly getting better at. You can say, I'm slowly getting better at understanding different accents. Or, I'm slowly getting better at managing my stress levels. Or, I'm slowly getting better at negotiation. Repeat softly. I'm slowly getting better at. Fluency grows in steps, not leaps, and this phrase reflects that beautifully. Let's practice one more expression. I'm doing my best to stay focused. This phrase shows determination in a gentle, human way. You can also adapt it to other situations. I'm doing my best to stay positive despite the bad news. Or, I'm doing my best to stay awake during this long lecture. Or, I'm doing my best to stay organized. Repeat it slowly and let your mind connect to your real efforts in life. As we continue building your fluency, I want you to listen to each phrase slowly and naturally, letting the language settle inside your mind. Fluency grows when you feel the language, not when you memorize it. The next phrase I want you to practice is, I've got a lot on my plate. This is a wonderful advanced expression that means you have many responsibilities or tasks. You might say, I've got a lot on my plate with the wedding planning. Or, I've got a lot on my plate managing 2 different projects. Or emotionally, I've got a lot on my plate dealing with family issues. Repeat it gently. I've got a lot on my plate. Let the meaning connect with your real life because emotional connection makes English unforgettable. Another useful expression is, I'll keep you posted. Native speakers love this phrase because it is friendly, clear, and professional. You can use it with coworkers, friends, or family. It simply means you will keep someone updated. For example, I'll keep you posted on the delivery status. Or, I'll keep you posted when I make a decision. Or, I'll keep you posted about the weather conditions. Say it with me slowly. I'll keep you posted. Imagine someone waiting for your reply. This phrase fits naturally in that situation. Another common phrase fluent speakers use is, I can relate to that. This means you understand someone's experience because you have been in a similar situation. It shows empathy and emotional intelligence, which are important for advanced communication. You can say, I can relate to that fear of public speaking. Or, I can relate to that feeling of homesickness. Or simply, I can relate to that. I've been there too. Repeat softly. I can relate to that. Use it when you want to create connection and show understanding in conversations. Now imagine yourself sitting with a friend or colleague and they ask for your opinion. Instead of saying something simple, you can use the advanced expression, here's the way I see it. This phrase helps you express your perspective clearly and confidently. You can say, here's the way I see it. We have two good options. Or, here's the way I see it. Honesty is always the best policy. Or, here's the way I see it. If we don't act now, we will lose the opportunity. Say it slowly. Here's the way I see it. Feel how natural and fluent it sounds. Another phrase that adds depth to your English is, I've been giving it some thought. This expression helps you show reflection, planning, or emotional consideration. It implies you haven't rushed your decision. You can say, I've been giving it some thought, and I've decided to accept the job offer. Or, I've been giving it some thought, and I want to go back to school. Or, I've been giving it some thought, and I think we should take a break. Repeat gently. I've been giving it some thought. This phrase makes your English feel thoughtful and mature. Let's continue with another advanced phrase. It's starting to sink in. This means you are beginning to understand something deeply or emotionally, usually after a shock or big news. For example, it's starting to sink in that I'm actually graduating. Or, it's starting to sink in how lucky we were. Or, the reality of the situation is starting to sink in. Say it slowly and naturally. It's starting to sink in. Another useful expression for daily conversations is, I wouldn't be surprised if. This helps you express predictions in a soft, natural way. You might say, I wouldn't be surprised if the meeting gets canceled. Or, I wouldn't be surprised if she wins the competition. Or, I wouldn't be surprised if prices go up next month. Repeat it with me. I wouldn't be surprised if. This is a great phrase for showing expectations without sounding too strong. Now, imagine dealing with a challenge or a confusing situation. A powerful advanced phrase you can use is, I'm weighing my options. This means you are thinking about different choices before making a decision. You could say, I'm weighing my options between buying and renting. Or, I'm weighing my options for my holiday destination. Or professionally, I'm weighing my options regarding my career path. Repeat slowly. I'm weighing my options. This phrase sounds educated, thoughtful, and perfect for deeper communication. Another daily life expression fluent speakers use is, I've come to the conclusion that. This phrase is strong and reflective, often used after thinking for a while. You can say, I've come to the conclusion that I need to simplify my life. Or, I've come to the conclusion that this strategy isn't working. Or, I've come to the conclusion that health is the most important wealth. Repeat it gently. I've come to the conclusion that. Let the phrase guide you into deeper reflection. Let's practice another powerful expression. I'm trying to find the right balance. This phrase is extremely common because everyone at some point tries to find balance between different parts of life. You can say, I'm trying to find the right balance between spending and saving. Or, I'm trying to find the right balance between being strict and being kind. Or, I'm trying to find the right balance with my diet. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to find the right balance. Another expression that reflects emotional maturity is, I'm doing what I can. This phrase shows effort without pressure. You can use it when handling difficulties, learning new skills, or managing your day. For example, I'm doing what I can to help the situation. Or, I'm doing what I can to clear my debt. Or, I'm doing what I can to support my friend. Repeat calmly. I'm doing what I can. This phrase brings comfort and confidence to your English. Imagine having a conversation with someone who tells you something inspiring. To respond naturally, you can use the expression, that really resonates with me. This means the idea touched you emotionally or personally. You can say, that really resonates with me because I grew up in a small town too. Or, that really resonates with me. I value family above all else. Repeat gently. That really resonates with me. This expression softens your tone and strengthens emotional connection. Another phrase used constantly by advanced speakers is, I'm trying to stay mindful of. This expression shows awareness, intention, and emotional maturity. You can say, I'm trying to stay mindful of my spending habits. Or, I'm trying to stay mindful of how I speak to others. Or, I'm trying to stay mindful of the environment. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to stay mindful of. Let's add one more. I'm learning to trust the process. This phrase is emotional, motivating, and widely used in personal development. You can say, I'm learning to trust the process of recovery. Or, I'm learning to trust the process of building a business. Or simply, I'm learning to trust the process of life. Repeat softly. I'm learning to trust the process. Let this phrase remind you that fluency takes time, patience, consistency, and belief in yourself. As we move deeper into this fluency masterclass, I want you to notice how your mind is slowly adjusting to these advanced expressions. Every phrase you learn adds another layer of natural rhythm to your English. The more you repeat, the more these expressions become a part of your thinking patterns. And when English becomes a part of your thinking, fluency follows you everywhere throughout your day. Let's continue building that natural flow with more phrases you can use in real conversations and real daily life. A phrase fluent speakers use very often is, it's been a long time coming. This expression means that something has been expected or delayed for a while, and it's finally happening. For example, this promotion has been a long time coming. Or, their reunion has been a long time coming. Or, regarding a much-needed break, this vacation has been a long time coming. Repeat slowly. It's been a long time coming. This phrase adds emotional depth and shows understanding of time and progress. Another powerful expression is, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. This is similar to the earlier phrase, wrap my head around, but it adds a slightly deeper emotional tone. You can say, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the sheer size of the universe, or I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the tragic news, or I'm still trying to wrap my mind around winning the lottery. Repeat the phrase gently and imagine yourself in a moment of reflection. Let's practice another daily life phrase that advanced speakers use constantly. I didn't see that coming. This expression means you were caught by surprise, often by a twist or sudden event. You can say, the ending of the movie? I didn't see that coming. Or, When he proposed, I didn't see that coming. Or at work, the merger was a secret. I didn't see that coming. Repeat it slowly. I didn't see that coming. This phrase is especially useful during casual conversations because it sounds natural and expressive. Another advanced expression is, I'm doing my best to stay on top of things. This means you are trying to stay organized, responsible, and in control of your tasks so you don't fall behind. For example, I'm doing my best to stay on top of the laundry, or I'm doing my best to stay on top of the emails, or I'm doing my best to stay on top of the news. Repeat calmly. I'm doing my best to stay on top of things. This phrase sounds mature, committed, and very natural. Now, imagine talking to someone about something important. You want to share your perspective in a thoughtful way. A perfect expression for this is, what matters most to me is. This phrase lets you express your values and priorities. For example, what matters most to me is integrity, or what matters most to me is spending quality time with my kids, or what matters most to me is feeling safe. Repeat gently. What matters most to me is. Let the sentence connect with your real feelings. Another useful phrase advanced speakers use to express doubt or uncertainty is, I have a feeling that. This is softer and more natural than saying, I think all the time. You can say, I have a feeling that it's going to rain later, or I have a feeling that he's not telling the whole truth, or I have a feeling that this year will be great. Repeat the phrase softly. I have a feeling that. This expression is perfect for predictions, emotions, and intuitive thoughts. Let's continue with another beautiful phrase. I'm trying to figure things out. This phrase is simple but powerful. It shows you are processing, learning, or solving problems, and you haven't found the answer yet. You can say, I'm just trying to figure things out with my new computer, or I'm trying to figure things out in my relationship, or I'm trying to figure things out regarding my future. Repeat gently. I'm trying to figure things out. This phrase brings honesty and humility to your English. Another expression fluent speakers often use is, it's only a matter of time. This means something is likely to happen eventually. It is inevitable. You can say, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, or it's only a matter of time before technology changes again, or it's only a matter of time before we meet again. Repeat slowly. It's only a matter of time. This phrase adds confidence and maturity to your speech. Let's practice a phrase that helps you show care and attention. I'm paying close attention to. This phrase is perfect for work, study, or personal discussions. You can say, I'm paying close attention to the details in this contract, or I'm paying close attention to my diet, or I'm paying close attention to how the market is changing. Repeat it softly. I'm paying close attention to. Feel the calm clarity this phrase brings. Another daily phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm doing everything I can to. This shows determination and maximum effort. For example, I'm doing everything I can to save money for a house, or I'm doing everything I can to fix the mistake, or I'm doing everything I can to learn this language. Repeat it slowly. I'm doing everything I can to. This phrase communicates strength while remaining gentle and natural. Now, imagine you are trying to comfort someone or encourage them. A beautiful phrase for this is, you're doing better than you think. This expression is supportive, kind, and full of empathy. You can also use it for yourself, saying quietly, I'm doing better than I think. Repeat it slowly. You're doing better than you think. Let this phrase feel warm and uplifting. Another advanced expression fluent speakers love is, I'm beginning to understand myself better. This phrase is emotional, expressive, and deeply reflective. You can say, I'm beginning to understand myself better through journaling, or I'm beginning to understand myself better after the breakup, or I'm beginning to understand myself better as I get older. Repeat it softly. I'm beginning to understand myself better. It is perfect for deep conversations or personal reflections. Let's add another phrase that can be used many times throughout the day. I'm taking things one step at a time. This phrase shows patience, maturity, and emotional control. You can say, I'm taking things one step at a time with the renovation, or I'm taking things one step at a time during this crisis, or I'm taking things one step at a time in my recovery. Repeat gently. I'm taking things one step at a time. This expression will help you speak fluently and calmly in many situations. Finally, let's practice a phrase that brings emotional clarity. I'm learning to trust myself more. This expression is encouraging and powerful. You can say, I'm learning to trust myself more when I'm under pressure, or I'm learning to trust myself more regarding my intuition, or I'm learning to trust myself more with financial decisions. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to trust myself more. This phrase helps you build confidence, not just in English, but in life. As we continue this masterclass, I want you to notice how naturally these phrases are beginning to flow through your mind. With every repetition, you are not just memorizing expressions. You are training your brain to think in English. And when your thoughts shift into English, your fluency becomes effortless. Let's keep building this natural inner flow with more advanced expressions you can use throughout your day. A beautiful phrase fluent speakers often use is, I'm starting to see things differently. This expression shows growth, emotional awareness, and deep self-reflection. You can say, I'm starting to see things differently now that I'm a parent. Or, I'm starting to see things differently regarding work-life balance. Or, I'm starting to see things differently after traveling. Repeat it slowly. I'm starting to see things differently. Let it reflect how your learning journey is expanding your perspective. Another advanced expression you can use is, I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. This means you are trying to understand another person's feelings, background, or motivation, even if you disagree. You might say, even though I was angry, I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. Or, I'm trying to understand where my boss is coming from with this request. Or, I'm trying to understand where she's coming from before I judge. Repeat gently. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. This phrase shows maturity and emotional intelligence, key elements of advanced English. Another phrase that sounds natural and expressive is, that makes a lot of sense. Fluent speakers use this to show agreement or sudden understanding. For example, now that you explain the context, that makes a lot of sense. Or, using a visual aid, that makes a lot of sense. Or, it makes a lot of sense to start early. Repeat slowly. That makes a lot of sense. It is a perfect phrase to use when someone shares information that feels logical or clear. Let's continue with a soft, thoughtful expression. I can't help but feel like. This phrase shows emotion, honesty, and deeper intuition. You can say, I can't help but feel like something is missing. Or, I can't help but feel like we've met before. Or, I can't help but feel like this is the right decision. Repeat it gently. I can't help but feel like. Use this phrase when you want to express your gut feelings in a sincere, natural way. Another advanced phrase is, I've been reflecting on. Fluent speakers use this when they are thinking deeply about something, usually over a period of time. For example, I've been reflecting on what you said yesterday. Or, I've been reflecting on my career choices. Or, I've been reflecting on the past year. Repeat it softly. I've been reflecting on. This phrase is great for thoughtful, calm conversations. Let's practice another daily life expression. I'm trying to stay consistent. Consistency is one of the most important habits in any learning process, especially language learning. You can say, I'm trying to stay consistent with my gym routine, or I'm trying to stay consistent with my sleep schedule, or I'm trying to stay consistent with my content creation. Repeat it slowly. I'm trying to stay consistent. Feel the strength and focus this phrase brings to your speech. Now, imagine you are having a conversation with someone facing a challenge. You want to sound supportive. One advanced phrase you can use is, I completely understand how you feel. This creates connection and shows empathy. You might say, I completely understand how you feel about the uncertainty. Or, I completely understand how you feel. Change is scary. Or, I completely understand how you feel regarding the workload. Repeat gently. I completely understand how you feel. This phrase makes your English sound kind, human, and emotionally intelligent. Another phrase native speakers use naturally is, I'm trying to take it as it comes. This means accepting things one by one instead of planning every detail or stressing about the future. You can say, I don't have a strict plan. I'm trying to take it as it comes. Or, life is unpredictable, so I'm trying to take it as it comes. Or, I'm trying to take it as it comes regarding the weather. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to take it as it comes. This expression brings a sense of calm and acceptance to your English. Let's add another expression used constantly in advanced English. I'm open to the possibility that. You can say, I'm open to the possibility that I might be wrong. Or, I'm open to the possibility that we can find a better solution. Or, I'm open to the possibility that he will change his mind. Repeat gently. I'm open to the possibility that. This phrase helps you express flexibility, positivity, and emotional maturity. Another advanced phrase fluent speakers love is, I've learned the hard way that. This expression means you discovered something through difficult experience or failure. You can say, I've learned the hard way that you can't please everyone. Or, I've learned the hard way that backing up data is essential. Or, I've learned the hard way that honesty is the only path. Repeat it slowly. I've learned the hard way that. It is a powerful storytelling expression, perfect for sharing lessons and experiences. Now, imagine talking about a challenge. You want to express how you are managing it. One helpful phrase is, I'm doing my best to handle it. You can say, the pressure is high, but I'm doing my best to handle it. Or, I'm doing my best to handle it without complaining. Or, I'm doing my best to handle it professionally. Repeat it calmly. I'm doing my best to handle it. Let this phrase bring confidence and calm into your English. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers use is, it's becoming clear to me that. This helps you express understanding or realization, usually after observing something. You can say, it's becoming clear to me that we need more staff. Or, it's becoming clear to me that this isn't the right fit. Or, it's becoming clear to me that hard work pays off. Repeat gently. It's becoming clear to me that. This phrase adds emotional clarity and confidence to your communication. Let's continue with another essential phrase. I'm learning to let go of what I can't control. This expression shows deep emotional awareness. You can say, The traffic is bad, but I'm learning to let go of what I can't control. Or, I'm learning to let go of what I can't control regarding other people's opinions. Or, I'm learning to let go of what I can't control and focus on my own actions. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to let go of what I can't control. This phrase brings peace and emotional strength to your English. Another advanced phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm slowly finding my rhythm. This expression is great for describing progress when settling into a new job, city, or habit. You can say, it took a few weeks, but I'm slowly finding my rhythm in this new role. Or, I'm slowly finding my rhythm with the new schedule. Or, I'm slowly finding my rhythm as a writer. Repeat softly. I'm slowly finding my rhythm. This phrase conveys calm and steady improvement. Let's practice one more expression before going further. I'm trying to stay patient with myself. This phrase is perfect for learners who want to sound natural and emotionally aware. You can say, learning guitar is hard, but I'm trying to stay patient with myself. Or, I'm trying to stay patient with myself while I heal. Or, I'm trying to stay patient with myself regarding my career growth. Repeat it gently. I'm trying to stay patient with myself. This phrase is not only advanced, it is comforting and empowering. As we move further into this masterclass, you may begin to notice that your mind is becoming more comfortable with advanced expressions. Each phrase is slowly shaping the way you think, speak, and react in English. This is the true foundation of fluency, when your spontaneous thoughts begin forming naturally in English throughout your day. Let's continue deepening that natural flow with more expressions you can use in real conversations, real emotions, and real moments of your daily life. One powerful phrase that fluent speakers often use is, I'm starting to find my confidence. This expression shows growth and emotional progress after a period of doubt. You can say, after months of practice, I'm starting to find my confidence on stage. Or, I'm starting to find my confidence in driving. Or, I'm starting to find my confidence in social situations. Repeat it slowly. I'm starting to find my confidence. Let this phrase reflect your journey and your progress. Another advanced expression you will hear frequently is, I'm trying to see the bigger picture. This means you are trying to understand something beyond the small details or immediate problems. You might say, it's a small setback, but I'm trying to see the bigger picture. Or, I'm trying to see the bigger picture regarding the company's future. Or, I'm trying to see the bigger picture instead of getting annoyed. Repeat gently. I'm trying to see the bigger picture. This phrase helps you sound thoughtful, balanced, and emotionally grounded. Another natural phrase fluent speakers use is, that really put things into perspective. This expression is perfect when something helps you understand life more clearly, often by comparing it to something else. For example, hearing her story really put things into perspective. Or, travel really put things into perspective for me. Or, the documentary really put things into perspective about the environment. Repeat softly. That really put things into perspective. This phrase adds maturity and depth to your English. Let's practice a daily expression that fluent speakers use when discussing their progress or challenges. I'm taking a moment to reflect. You can say, before I decide, I'm taking a moment to reflect. Or, I'm taking a moment to reflect on the feedback. Or, I'm taking a moment to reflect on what I truly want. Repeat it slowly. I'm taking a moment to reflect. This phrase reminds you to pause, breathe, and think deeply, and it sounds beautifully natural in English. Another powerful expression you can use is, I'm learning to communicate more clearly. This shows self-awareness and growth. You might say, I'm learning to communicate more clearly to avoid misunderstandings. Or, I'm learning to communicate more clearly in my emails. Or, I'm learning to communicate more clearly with my partner. Repeat it gently. I'm learning to communicate more clearly. This phrase helps you express improvement without pressure. Let's continue with another advanced expression. I've noticed a shift in myself. This phrase reflects emotional or behavioral change. You can say, I've noticed a shift in myself. I'm less angry these days. Or, I've noticed a shift in myself regarding how I spend money. Or, I've noticed a shift in myself since I started meditating. Repeat slowly. I've noticed a shift in myself. This phrase allows you to speak with self-awareness and emotional depth. Another phrase fluent speakers love is, I'm trying not to overthink it. Overthinking is common, and this expression sounds natural when you want to show you are staying calm. You might say, I sent the message and now I'm trying not to overthink it. Or, it's just a casual meeting. I'm trying not to overthink it. Or, I'm trying not to overthink the details. Repeat it softly. I'm trying not to overthink it. This phrase helps you express balance, self-care, and emotional control. Let's practice another expression. I want to make the most of my time. This phrase shows intention, motivation, and responsibility. You can say, I'm on vacation and I want to make the most of my time. Or, I want to make the most of my time while the kids are at school. Or, I want to make the most of my time in this city. Repeat slowly. I want to make the most of my time. It is a positive, advanced phrase that helps you sound focused and determined. Another useful expression fluent speakers often use is, I'm learning to be more present. This phrase helps you talk about mindfulness and awareness. You can say, I'm learning to be more present with my family. Or, I'm learning to be more present instead of worrying about tomorrow. Or, I'm learning to be more present in nature. Repeat gently. I'm learning to be more present. This phrase adds calm, emotional intelligence, and clarity to your English. Now, imagine you are thinking about a challenge or a decision. A helpful advanced phrase is, I'm trying to understand the situation better. You can say, before I give advice, I'm trying to understand the situation better. Or, I'm trying to understand the situation better from your point of view. Or, I'm trying to understand the situation better to avoid mistakes. Repeat it slowly. I'm trying to understand the situation better. This phrase sounds mature, steady, and thoughtful in everyday conversations. Another expression that fluent speakers use often is, I'm beginning to feel more comfortable. You can say, I'm beginning to feel more comfortable with the new software. Or, I'm beginning to feel more comfortable driving in the city. Or, I'm beginning to feel more comfortable in my own skin. Repeat softly. I'm beginning to feel more comfortable. This phrase reflects progress, growth, and self-confidence. Let's add another beautiful expression. I'm taking my time to process everything. This shows mental and emotional awareness, especially after receiving a lot of information. You can say, it's a lot of news. I'm taking my time to process everything. Or, I'm taking my time to process everything before I respond. Or, I'm taking my time to process everything emotionally. Repeat gently. I'm taking my time to process everything. This phrase helps you sound calm, mature, and emotionally stable. Another common advanced expression is I'm slowly getting used to it. You might say, the weather is cold, but I'm slowly getting used to it. Or I'm slowly getting used to waking up at 5 a.m. Or I'm slowly getting used to the noise. Repeat slowly. I'm slowly getting used to it. This expression shows natural progress without pressure. Let's practice a phrase that fluent speakers use during deeper conversations. I've realized something important. You can say, I've realized something important. Life is too short to worry. Or I've realized something important about my leadership style. Or I've realized something important about what I value. Repeat gently. I've realized something important. This phrase adds clarity, understanding, and emotional insight to your English. Another expression is I'm trying to approach things differently. You might say, the old way didn't work, so I'm trying to approach things differently. Or I'm trying to approach things differently in my marriage. Or I'm trying to approach things differently to reduce stress. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to approach things differently. This phrase shows growth, flexibility, and advanced communication skills. Let's go further with a powerful phrase. I'm committed to improving every day. You can say, I'm committed to improving every day, even if it's just 1%. Or I'm committed to improving every day in my profession. Or I'm committed to improving every day as a listener. Repeat gently. I'm committed to improving every day. This phrase expresses motivation, determination, and long-term growth. As we continue this journey together, I want you to keep noticing how your English is beginning to feel more natural, more expressive, more connected to your real emotions and your daily experiences. Fluency is not built in a single moment. It grows through thousands of small moments where you hear, repeat, understand, and feel the language. Every advanced phrase you practice becomes a part of your natural communication. And that is exactly what we are building here. Let's continue expanding your expressive vocabulary with more phrases that will help you speak with clarity, confidence, and emotional strength. A phrase fluent speakers frequently use is, I've been trying to stay positive. This is gentle, honest, and very natural, especially when times are tough. You can say, it's been a hard week, but I've been trying to stay positive. Or, I've been trying to stay positive about the job search. Or, I've been trying to stay positive despite the delay. Repeat slowly. I've been trying to stay positive. Let it reflect your emotional resilience. Another phrase that adds depth to everyday speech is, I want to be more intentional about. This means you want to do something with purpose instead of just repeating habits. You might say, I want to be more intentional about how I spend my weekends. Or, I want to be more intentional about the food I eat. Or, I want to be more intentional about my friendships. Repeat gently, I want to be more intentional about. This phrase makes you sound thoughtful and mature in conversations. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers love is, I'm finding it helpful to. You can say, I'm finding it helpful to write down my goals. Or, I'm finding it helpful to disconnect from social media. Or, I'm finding it helpful to take short walks. Repeat slowly. I'm finding it helpful to. Use this phrase to talk about habits or discoveries that support your growth. Let's continue with another advanced expression. I'm trying to manage my time better. This is perfect for daily life, work, or personal conversations. You can say, I have 3 exams, so I'm trying to manage my time better. Or, I'm trying to manage my time better so I can sleep more. Or, I'm trying to manage my time better at the office. Repeat gently, I'm trying to manage my time better. This phrase is honest, relatable, and extremely natural. Another daily phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm beginning to notice patterns. This helps you talk about insights and observations. You can say, I'm beginning to notice patterns in customer behavior. Or, I'm beginning to notice patterns in how I react to stress. Or, I'm beginning to notice patterns in the weather. Repeat slowly. I'm beginning to notice patterns. This expression helps you sound analytical and self-aware. Let's practice another one. I want to build healthier habits. You might say, I want to build healthier habits around my sleep. Or, I want to build healthier habits for my mental health. Or, I want to build healthier habits regarding technology. Repeat gently. I want to build healthier habits. This phrase shows motivation and personal development. Another phrase fluent speakers use often during emotional conversations is, I'm learning to trust my instincts. You can say, I'm learning to trust my instincts about people. Or, I'm learning to trust my instincts in business deals. Or, I'm learning to trust my instincts when something feels wrong. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to trust my instincts. This phrase helps express emotional strength and maturity. Let's continue with a phrase you can use in many daily life situations. I'm trying to stay focused on what matters. You can say, there are many distractions, but I'm trying to stay focused on what matters. Or, I'm trying to stay focused on what matters, my health. Or, I'm trying to stay focused on what matters in the long run. Repeat gently. I'm trying to stay focused on what matters. This phrase helps you communicate purpose and clarity. Another expression that sounds natural and advanced is, I've realized I need more balance. You can say, I've realized I need more balance, I work too much, or I've realized I need more balance in my diet, or I've realized I need more balance between social time and alone time. Repeat slowly. I've realized I need more balance. This helps you speak with emotional awareness and self-understanding. Let's add another expression. I'm trying to create a routine that works for me. You might say, everyone is different, so I'm trying to create a routine that works for me. Or, I'm trying to create a routine that works for me with the baby. Or, I'm trying to create a routine that works for me while traveling. Repeat gently. I'm trying to create a routine that works for me. This phrase gives your English a warm and relatable tone. Another advanced phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm grateful for the small progress. You can say, I learned 5 words today and I'm grateful for the small progress. Or, I'm grateful for the small progress in my recovery. Or, I'm grateful for the small progress we made in the meeting. Repeat slowly. I'm grateful for the small progress. Let the phrase carry meaning, not just words. Let's practice a very natural expression. I don't want to lose momentum. You can say, I've been exercising daily and I don't want to lose momentum. Or, I don't want to lose momentum on this project. Or, I don't want to lose momentum now that I've started. Repeat gently. I don't want to lose momentum. This phrase works perfectly in daily motivation conversations. Another advanced expression is, I'm learning to respond instead of react. This is a powerful emotional maturity phrase. You can say, I'm learning to respond instead of react when my children misbehave. Or, I'm learning to respond instead of react to criticism. Or, I'm learning to respond instead of react when plans change. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to respond instead of react. This expression helps you sound calm, thoughtful, and emotionally intelligent. Now, imagine you are reflecting on your internal growth. You can use the phrase, I'm learning to be kinder to myself. You might say, I'm learning to be kinder to myself when I don't meet my goals. Or, I'm learning to be kinder to myself about my appearance. Or, I'm learning to be kinder to myself in my self-talk. Repeat gently, I'm learning to be kinder to myself. This phrase is healing, natural, and deeply expressive. Let's add another phrase you can use during self-reflection. I'm taking small steps forward. You can say, it's a huge goal, but I'm taking small steps forward. Or, I'm taking small steps forward in my career transition. Or, I'm taking small steps forward to rebuild trust. Repeat slowly. I'm taking small steps forward. This expression helps you communicate progress without pressure. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers use is, I'm focusing on what I can control. You can say, the economy is unstable, so I'm focusing on what I can control. Or, I'm focusing on what I can control, my attitude. Or, I'm focusing on what I can control in this negotiation. Repeat gently, I'm focusing on what I can control. This phrase brings calm clarity to your speech. Let's move further with a gentle, advanced expression. I'm hopeful about what's ahead. You can say, it was a tough year, but I'm hopeful about what's ahead. Or, I'm hopeful about what's ahead for my family. Or, I'm hopeful about what's ahead in this new chapter. Repeat it softly. I'm hopeful about what's ahead. This phrase fills your English with positivity and emotional warmth. As we continue this masterclass, I want you to keep noticing how each phrase shapes your thoughts gently and naturally. With every repetition, you are becoming more comfortable expressing deeper ideas, real emotions, and complex thoughts in English. Advanced fluency is not about big or difficult words. It is about expressing your inner world clearly, softly, and naturally. So let's continue building that natural inner voice with more phrases that help you speak beautifully and confidently in your everyday life. A powerful phrase fluent speakers love to use is, I'm learning to be more patient with the process. This expression helps you communicate acceptance and emotional strength. You can say, results aren't immediate, so I'm learning to be more patient with the process. Or, I'm learning to be more patient with the process of healing. Or, I'm learning to be more patient with the process of buying a home. Repeat gently, I'm learning to be more patient with the process. Let this phrase remind you that learning takes time, and that is okay. Another advanced expression you can use is, I'm realizing how important it is to. You can say, I'm realizing how important it is to stay hydrated. Or, I'm realizing how important it is to listen before speaking. Or, I'm realizing how important it is to have good friends. Repeat it slowly. I'm realizing how important it is to. This phrase helps you express meaningful insights in a natural, fluent way. Another daily life phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm working on becoming a better version of myself. You might say, I'm working on becoming a better version of myself for my kids. Or, I'm working on becoming a better version of myself spiritually. Or, I'm working on becoming a better version of myself by letting go of anger. Repeat softly, I'm working on becoming a better version of myself. This phrase brings positivity and emotional depth to your English. Let's practice another expression. I'm trying to stay grounded. This means staying calm, stable, and emotionally balanced, not getting carried away by ego or stress. You can say, success is great, but I'm trying to stay grounded. Or, I'm trying to stay grounded amidst the chaos. Or, I'm trying to stay grounded by meditating. Repeat gently, I'm trying to stay grounded. This phrase feels calm, strong, and very natural. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers use is, I'm grateful for the clarity I'm gaining. You can say, I'm grateful for the clarity I'm gaining about my career path. Or, I'm grateful for the clarity I'm gaining regarding my relationships. Or, I'm grateful for the clarity I'm gaining on what I want. Repeat slowly. I'm grateful for the clarity I'm gaining. This phrase helps you express deep understanding and emotional growth. Let's continue with another advanced phrase. I'm trying to understand my emotions better. You can say, I'm trying to understand my emotions better instead of ignoring them. Or, I'm trying to understand my emotions better through therapy. Or, I'm trying to understand my emotions better to communicate well. Repeat gently. I'm trying to understand my emotions better. This phrase adds emotional intelligence to your English. Another phrase fluent speakers use regularly is, I'm beginning to feel more confident in my abilities. You might say, I'm beginning to feel more confident in my abilities as a leader. Or, I'm beginning to feel more confident in my abilities to cook. Or, I'm beginning to feel more confident in my abilities to handle stress. Repeat slowly. I'm beginning to feel more confident in my abilities. Let the phrase reflect your progress. Now, imagine you are talking about something that took time to understand. You can use the expression, it's finally making sense to me. This phrase is natural, expressive, and very common. You can say, the grammar rule was hard, but it's finally making sense to me. Or, it's finally making sense to me why he acted that way. Or, it's finally making sense to me how the system works. Repeat gently, it's finally making sense to me. Let this phrase reflect your growing clarity. Another advanced expression is, I didn't realize how much I needed that. Fluent speakers use this phrase when something helps them in an unexpected way. You can say, I took a nap and I didn't realize how much I needed that. Or, thank you for the hug. I didn't realize how much I needed that. Or, I didn't realize how much I needed that advice. Repeat slowly. I didn't realize how much I needed that. This phrase helps you sound warm and emotionally aware. Let's practice a phrase you can use during self-reflection. I'm taking responsibility for my choices. You might say, I'm taking responsibility for my choices, good and bad. Or, I'm taking responsibility for my choices regarding my health. Or, I'm taking responsibility for my choices in this project. Repeat gently. I'm taking responsibility for my choices. This phrase reflects maturity and personal strength. Another expression fluent speakers use is, I'm learning to adjust my expectations. This is helpful when things don't go as planned. You can say, I'm learning to adjust my expectations about how much I can do in a day. Or, I'm learning to adjust my expectations of others. Or, I'm learning to adjust my expectations for the trip. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to adjust my expectations. This phrase softens your speech and adds emotional wisdom. Let's add another daily life expression. I'm making small improvements each day. You can say, I'm making small improvements each day in my handwriting. Or, I'm making small improvements each day in my posture. Or, I'm making small improvements each day in how I manage conflict. Repeat softly. I'm making small improvements each day. This phrase celebrates consistent effort, not perfection. Another advanced phrase fluent speakers use often is, I'm proud of the progress I'm making. You can say, it's slow, but I'm proud of the progress I'm making. Or, I'm proud of the progress I'm making with my savings. Or, I'm proud of the progress I'm making in therapy. Repeat slowly. I'm proud of the progress I'm making. This expression is emotionally supportive and uplifting. Let's practice another powerful expression. I'm willing to grow even when it's uncomfortable. You might say, public speaking is scary, but I'm willing to grow even when it's uncomfortable. Or, I'm willing to grow even when it's uncomfortable to hear feedback. Or, I'm willing to grow even when it's uncomfortable to change. Repeat gently. I'm willing to grow even when it's uncomfortable. This phrase helps you sound emotionally courageous and fluent. Another natural phrase fluent speakers love is, I'm doing what feels right for me. You can say, it might not be popular, but I'm doing what feels right for me. Or, I'm doing what feels right for me regarding my career. Or, I'm doing what feels right for me and my family. Repeat slowly. I'm doing what feels right for me. This expression communicates confidence and self-trust. Let's move further with a soft, reflective phrase. I'm learning to move forward with confidence. You can say, I made mistakes, but I'm learning to move forward with confidence. Or, I'm learning to move forward with confidence into the new year. Or, I'm learning to move forward with confidence in my skills. Repeat gently. I'm learning to move forward with confidence. This phrase fills your English with strength, calm, and purpose. As we move ahead in this masterclass, I want you to notice how your thoughts are slowly beginning to flow in English without force. You are no longer just learning phrases. You are absorbing a new way of expressing yourself. Every advanced phrase you practice adds clarity, emotional depth, and confidence to your communication. Let's continue shaping this natural fluency with more phrases you can use in real life, in real emotions, and in real conversations. A phrase fluent speakers often use is, I'm learning to take better care of myself. This expression is honest, emotional, and beautifully natural. You can say, I'm learning to take better care of myself by setting boundaries. Or, I'm learning to take better care of myself regarding my diet. Or, I'm learning to take better care of myself instead of always helping others first. Repeat gently. I'm learning to take better care of myself. Let this phrase reflect your personal growth. Another advanced expression is, I'm starting to understand what truly matters to me. You might say, after the accident, I'm starting to understand what truly matters to me. Or, I'm starting to understand what truly matters to me in a job. Or, I'm starting to understand what truly matters to me, freedom. Repeat slowly. I'm starting to understand what truly matters to me. This phrase helps you speak with deep emotional awareness. Let's practice a natural phrase fluent speakers often use in conversations. I'm doing my best to stay hopeful. You can say, the situation is grim, but I'm doing my best to stay hopeful. Or, I'm doing my best to stay hopeful about the test results. Or, I'm doing my best to stay hopeful that things will change. Repeat softly. I'm doing my best to stay hopeful. This phrase fills your English with positivity and courage. Another powerful expression is, I'm working on improving my reactions. This helps you talk about emotional growth. You might say, I used to get angry easily, but I'm working on improving my reactions. Or, I'm working on improving my reactions to sudden changes. Or, I'm working on improving my reactions so I don't hurt others. Repeat gently. I'm working on improving my reactions. This phrase shows maturity and emotional intelligence. Let's continue with another advanced phrase. I'm learning to appreciate the little things. You can say, I'm learning to appreciate the little things like a hot cup of tea. Or, I'm learning to appreciate the little things in my neighborhood. Or, I'm learning to appreciate the little things that money can't buy. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to appreciate the little things. This expression is warm, expressive, and perfect for fluent communication. Another daily life expression fluent speakers use is, I'm working toward becoming more disciplined. You might say, I'm working toward becoming more disciplined with my budget. Or, I'm working toward becoming more disciplined about waking up early. Or, I'm working toward becoming more disciplined in my studies. Repeat gently. I'm working toward becoming more disciplined. This phrase shows structure, motivation, and purpose. Let's practice another expression that sounds soft and natural. I'm learning to give myself more credit. This means recognizing your own effort instead of doubting yourself. You can say, I achieved a lot and I'm learning to give myself more credit. Or, I'm learning to give myself more credit for surviving tough times. Or, I'm learning to give myself more credit for my creativity. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to give myself more credit. This phrase helps you express kindness and self-acknowledgement. Another phrase fluent speakers use in reflection is, I'm choosing to focus on progress, not perfection. You might say, my English isn't perfect, but I'm choosing to focus on progress, not perfection. Or, I'm choosing to focus on progress, not perfection in my painting. Or, I'm choosing to focus on progress, not perfection regarding my diet. Repeat gently. I'm choosing to focus on progress, not perfection. This phrase is expressive, wise, and powerful. Let's add another advanced expression. I'm taking steps to improve my mindset. You can say, I'm taking steps to improve my mindset by reading positive books. Or, I'm taking steps to improve my mindset about failure. Or, I'm taking steps to improve my mindset regarding money. Repeat slowly. I'm taking steps to improve my mindset. This phrase brings emotional intelligence to your English. Another expression fluent speakers use regularly is, I'm trying to stay calm and collected. You might say, before the presentation, I'm trying to stay calm and collected. Or, I'm trying to stay calm and collected during the argument. Or, I'm trying to stay calm and collected so I can think clearly. Repeat softly. I'm trying to stay calm and collected. This helps you communicate stability and emotional balance. Let's practice another phrase. I'm learning to accept things as they are. This expression feels peaceful and mature. You can say, I can't change the past, so I'm learning to accept things as they are. Or, I'm learning to accept things as they are regarding his decision. Or, I'm learning to accept things as they are and find peace. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to accept things as they are. This phrase adds calm, strength, and wisdom to your speech. Another advanced phrase is, I'm finding comfort in small routines. You can say, I'm finding comfort in small routines like watering my plants. Or, I'm finding comfort in small routines before bed. Or, I'm finding comfort in small routines that ground me. Repeat gently. I'm finding comfort in small routines. This expression helps you speak softly and naturally about daily habits. Let's add a phrase that native speakers use often. I'm learning to let things unfold naturally. You might say, I stopped forcing the relationship. I'm learning to let things unfold naturally. Or, I'm learning to let things unfold naturally in my career. Or, I'm learning to let things unfold naturally without interfering. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to let things unfold naturally. This phrase helps you express ease and emotional flexibility. Another beautiful expression is, I'm discovering what truly brings me peace. You can say, I'm discovering what truly brings me peace, silence. Or, I'm discovering what truly brings me peace in nature. Or, I'm discovering what truly brings me peace away from the city. Repeat gently. I'm discovering what truly brings me peace. This phrase adds emotional depth and fluency to your English. Let's move further with a soft, powerful expression. I'm learning to grow at my own pace. You can say, everyone is ahead of me, but I'm learning to grow at my own pace. Or, I'm learning to grow at my own pace in this competitive field. Or, I'm learning to grow at my own pace without shame. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to grow at my own pace. This phrase supports confidence, emotional clarity, and fluent communication. As we continue this masterclass, I want you to feel how naturally these expressions are beginning to settle into your language. Every phrase adds another layer of fluency, another layer of emotional clarity, another layer of confidence. The goal is not to memorize them one by one, but to feel them, repeat them, and allow them to shape the rhythm of your daily communication. Let's keep building your fluency with more advanced phrases you can use all throughout your day. A thoughtful expression fluent speakers use often is, I'm working on creating healthier boundaries. You can say, I'm working on creating healthier boundaries with my boss. Or, I'm working on creating healthier boundaries regarding my phone usage. Or, I'm working on creating healthier boundaries to protect my energy. Repeat slowly. I'm working on creating healthier boundaries. This phrase shows emotional maturity and confidence. Another natural phrase is, I'm learning to trust my journey. You might say, it's a winding road, but I'm learning to trust my journey. Or, I'm learning to trust my journey even through the dark times. Or, I'm learning to trust my journey and where it leads. Repeat gently. I'm learning to trust my journey. This expression helps you speak with calmness and self-belief. Let's continue with another advanced phrase. I'm taking responsibility for my growth. You can say, no one can learn for me. I'm taking responsibility for my growth. Or, I'm taking responsibility for my growth by hiring a coach. Or, I'm taking responsibility for my growth and studying daily. Repeat slowly. I'm taking responsibility for my growth. This phrase communicates strength and self-awareness. Another expression fluent speakers commonly use is, I'm noticing improvement even in small ways. You might say, I'm noticing improvement even in small ways, like remembering a name. Or, I'm noticing improvement even in small ways in my stamina. Or, I'm noticing improvement even in small ways with my pronunciation. Repeat softly. I'm noticing improvement even in small ways. This phrase celebrates progress without pressure. Let's practice a soothing phrase. I'm learning to slow down when I need to. You can say, I used to push through pain, but I'm learning to slow down when I need to. Or, I'm learning to slow down when I need to regain focus. Or, I'm learning to slow down when I need to enjoy life. Repeat gently. I'm learning to slow down when I need to. This expression helps you sound sincere and emotionally aware. Another useful phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm trying to find the lesson in every experience. You might say, it was a failure, but I'm trying to find the lesson in every experience. Or, I'm trying to find the lesson in every experience, good or bad. Or, I'm trying to find the lesson in every experience to get wiser. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to find the lesson in every experience. This phrase helps you communicate wisdom and reflection. Let's add another advanced expression. I'm learning to stay calm under pressure. You can say, the deadline is tight, but I'm learning to stay calm under pressure. Or, I'm learning to stay calm under pressure during emergencies. Or, I'm learning to stay calm under pressure to lead the team. Repeat gently. I'm learning to stay calm under pressure. This helps you express emotional control and confidence. Another beautiful phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm starting to value my time more. You might say, I'm starting to value my time more, so I watch less TV. Or, I'm starting to value my time more than my money. Or, I'm starting to value my time more as I realize life is short. Repeat slowly. I'm starting to value my time more. This expression adds purpose and clarity to your communication. Let's continue with another emotional growth phrase. I'm trying to stay true to who I am. You can say, peer pressure is strong, but I'm trying to stay true to who I am. Or, I'm trying to stay true to who I am in this corporate world. Or, I'm trying to stay true to who I am and not pretend. Repeat gently. I'm trying to stay true to who I am. This phrase makes your English feel authentic and heartfelt. Another advanced expression is, I'm becoming more aware of my habits. You might say, I'm becoming more aware of my habits around food. Or, I'm becoming more aware of my habits of procrastination. Or, I'm becoming more aware of my habits regarding sleep. Repeat softly. I'm becoming more aware of my habits. This phrase adds emotional intelligence and mindfulness to your speaking. Let's practice a phrase that fluent speakers use often. I'm learning to let myself rest. You can say, I'm learning to let myself rest on weekends. Or, I'm learning to let myself rest when I'm sick. Or, I'm learning to let myself rest without checking emails. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to let myself rest. This expression is gentle and comforting. Another phrase that adds depth to your communication is, I'm trying to stay patient with the timing of things. You might say, I haven't met the right person yet, but I'm trying to stay patient with the timing of things. Or, I'm trying to stay patient with the timing of things regarding my promotion. Or, I'm trying to stay patient with the timing of things in the universe. Repeat gently. I'm trying to stay patient with the timing of things. This phrase is emotional, natural, and beautifully fluent. Let's add another expression fluent speakers love. I'm reminding myself that progress takes time. You can say, I felt stuck, so I'm reminding myself that progress takes time. Or, I'm reminding myself that progress takes time when I learn new vocabulary. Or, I'm reminding myself that progress takes time to see results. Repeat slowly. I'm reminding myself that progress takes time. This phrase adds emotional grounding and calmness. Another natural phrase is, I'm allowing myself to grow, even if it's slow. You might say, I'm allowing myself to grow, even if it's slow compared to others. Or, I'm allowing myself to grow, even if it's slow and quiet. Or, I'm allowing myself to grow, even if it's slow progress. Repeat gently. I'm allowing myself to grow, even if it's slow. This expression reflects acceptance and emotional maturity. Let's practice another beautifully expressive phrase. I'm becoming more confident in expressing my thoughts. You can say, I'm becoming more confident in expressing my thoughts in meetings. Or, I'm becoming more confident in expressing my thoughts in writing. Or, I'm becoming more confident in expressing my thoughts without fear. Repeat slowly. I'm becoming more confident in expressing my thoughts. This phrase shows growth and empowerment. Another advanced expression fluent speakers use is, I'm taking time to understand myself better. You might say, I'm taking time to understand myself better by traveling alone. Or, I'm taking time to understand myself better regarding my triggers. Or, I'm taking time to understand myself better and what I want. Repeat gently. I'm taking time to understand myself better. This phrase adds warmth and humanity to your communication. Let's continue with a soft, powerful expression. I'm learning to believe in my progress. You can say, I doubt myself often, but I'm learning to believe in my progress. Or, I'm learning to believe in my progress no matter how small. Or, I'm learning to believe in my progress and keep going. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to believe in my progress. This phrase strengthens confidence and emotional fluency. As we go deeper into this masterclass, I want you to feel how your relationship with English is shifting. You are no longer only learning phrases. You are learning to speak with emotional clarity, self-awareness, confidence, and natural rhythm. The more you repeat these expressions, the more you will notice your thoughts shaping themselves in English throughout your day. That is the true meaning of fluency. Let's continue expanding this natural flow with more phrases you can use every single day to express your emotions, thoughts, decisions, and reflections with clarity and confidence. A gentle expression fluent speakers use is, I'm learning to be more understanding with myself. You can say, I missed a deadline, but I'm learning to be more understanding with myself. Or, I'm learning to be more understanding with myself when I forget things. Or, I'm learning to be more understanding with myself and my limitations. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to be more understanding with myself. This phrase helps you express compassion and emotional maturity. Another advanced phrase is, I'm beginning to understand what I truly need to feel balanced. You might say, I'm beginning to understand what I truly need to feel balanced. More nature. Or, I'm beginning to understand what I truly need to feel balanced in my schedule. Or, I'm beginning to understand what I truly need to feel balanced emotionally. Repeat gently. I'm beginning to understand what I truly need to feel balanced. This expression helps you speak with sensitivity and clarity. Let's practice another phrase fluent speakers love. I'm working on becoming more mindful of my reactions. You can say, I'm working on becoming more mindful of my reactions when tired. Or, I'm working on becoming more mindful of my reactions to bad news. Or, I'm working on becoming more mindful of my reactions in traffic. Repeat softly. I'm working on becoming more mindful of my reactions. This phrase adds emotional intelligence to your communication. Another natural phrase is, I'm trying to strengthen my daily habits. You might say, I'm trying to strengthen my daily habits of reading. Or, I'm trying to strengthen my daily habits to be healthier. Or, I'm trying to strengthen my daily habits for better focus. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to strengthen my daily habits. This phrase brings discipline and purpose to your speech. Let's add another advanced expression. I'm learning to respond with more calmness. You can say, I'm learning to respond with more calmness to urgent requests. Or, I'm learning to respond with more calmness when things break. Or, I'm learning to respond with more calmness in arguments. Repeat gently. I'm learning to respond with more calmness. This phrase helps you express maturity and emotional balance. Another phrase fluent speakers use often is, I'm starting to value simple moments. You might say, I'm starting to value simple moments like coffee in the morning. Or, I'm starting to value simple moments with my grandparents. Or, I'm starting to value simple moments of silence. Repeat slowly. I'm starting to value simple moments. This expression brings warmth and gratitude into your speech. Let's continue with a reflective phrase. I'm learning to accept that growth takes time. You can say, I want to be fluent now, but I'm learning to accept that growth takes time. Or, I'm learning to accept that growth takes time in my business. Or, I'm learning to accept that growth takes time and effort. Repeat softly. I'm learning to accept that growth takes time. This phrase sounds wise, calm, and fluent. Another advanced expression fluent speakers use is, I'm discovering what helps me stay emotionally balanced. You might say, I'm discovering what helps me stay emotionally balanced. Yoga. Or, I'm discovering what helps me stay emotionally balanced when I'm busy. Or, I'm discovering what helps me stay emotionally balanced and happy. Repeat slowly. I'm discovering what helps me stay emotionally balanced. This phrase helps you express emotional self-awareness. Let's practice another phrase. I'm trying to stay open to new experiences. You can say, I'm trying to stay open to new experiences like traveling solo. Or, I'm trying to stay open to new experiences in my career. Or, I'm trying to stay open to new experiences despite my fear. Repeat gently. I'm trying to stay open to new experiences. This phrase communicates curiosity and emotional openness. Another expression fluent speakers use frequently is, I'm learning to distance myself from unnecessary stress. You might say, I'm learning to distance myself from unnecessary stress at work. Or, I'm learning to distance myself from unnecessary stress caused by drama. Or, I'm learning to distance myself from unnecessary stress to protect my health. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to distance myself from unnecessary stress. This phrase adds clarity and emotional intelligence to your English. Let's add a calming phrase. I'm doing my best to stay emotionally steady. You can say, it's a chaotic time, but I'm doing my best to stay emotionally steady. Or, I'm doing my best to stay emotionally steady for my team. Or, I'm doing my best to stay emotionally steady and strong. Repeat softly. I'm doing my best to stay emotionally steady. This phrase is gentle and supportive. Another advanced expression is, I'm beginning to trust my own timing. You might say, I haven't reached my goal yet, but I'm beginning to trust my own timing. Or, I'm beginning to trust my own timing in life events. Or, I'm beginning to trust my own timing instead of rushing. Repeat slowly. I'm beginning to trust my own timing. This phrase helps you communicate confidence and self-trust. Let's continue with a natural phrase. I'm learning to adjust my pace when needed. You can say, I can't always run fast. I'm learning to adjust my pace when needed. Or, I'm learning to adjust my pace when needed to avoid burnout. Or, I'm learning to adjust my pace when needed in this marathon. Repeat gently. I'm learning to adjust my pace when needed. This phrase reflects emotional flexibility and awareness. Another expression fluent speakers use is, I'm finding strength in being consistent. You might say, I'm finding strength in being consistent with my writing. Or, I'm finding strength in being consistent every morning. Or, I'm finding strength in being consistent with my values. Repeat slowly. I'm finding strength in being consistent. This phrase helps you express motivation and resilience. Let's practice another advanced phrase. I'm trying to stay aware of what drains my energy. You can say, I'm trying to stay aware of what drains my energy, negative people. Or, I'm trying to stay aware of what drains my energy in my schedule. Or, I'm trying to stay aware of what drains my energy so I can change it. Repeat gently. I'm trying to stay aware of what drains my energy. This phrase brings emotional intelligence and self-care into your English. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers love is, I'm beginning to notice what truly inspires me. You might say, I'm beginning to notice what truly inspires me, helping others. Or, I'm beginning to notice what truly inspires me in art. Or, I'm beginning to notice what truly inspires me to wake up early. Repeat slowly. I'm beginning to notice what truly inspires me. This phrase adds depth and authenticity to your communication. Let's add one more expression. I'm learning to walk forward with more clarity and confidence. You can say, the path was foggy, but I'm learning to walk forward with more clarity and confidence. Or, I'm learning to walk forward with more clarity and confidence in my choices. Or, I'm learning to walk forward with more clarity and confidence into the future. Repeat gently. I'm learning to walk forward with more clarity and confidence. This phrase helps you express emotional strength, purpose, and fluent communication. As we come toward the end of this masterclass, I want you to notice how your mind feels right now. You have been absorbing advanced English phrases with calm repetition, emotional awareness, and natural flow. You may already feel a difference in the way English forms itself in your thoughts, and that is the true sign of fluency developing inside you. Every phrase you have practiced in this lesson has helped you build a stronger, richer, more expressive voice in English. Let's complete this journey with some final advanced expressions that will support you throughout your daily life, your conversations, your decisions, and your personal growth. A beautiful expression fluent speakers use is, I'm learning to give myself permission to grow. You can say, I'm learning to give myself permission to grow beyond my past. Or, I'm learning to give myself permission to grow and change. Or, I'm learning to give myself permission to grow into who I want to be. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to give myself permission to grow. This phrase helps you speak gently and confidently at the same time. Another advanced expression is, I'm becoming more aware of my emotional needs. You might say, I'm becoming more aware of my emotional needs for connection. Or, I'm becoming more aware of my emotional needs regarding solitude. Or, I'm becoming more aware of my emotional needs to stay healthy. Repeat gently. I'm becoming more aware of my emotional needs. This phrase adds emotional clarity and maturity to your English. Let's practice a peaceful phrase fluent speakers love. I'm choosing to let go of unnecessary pressure. You can say, I'm choosing to let go of unnecessary pressure to succeed instantly. Or, I'm choosing to let go of unnecessary pressure from society. Or, I'm choosing to let go of unnecessary pressure and just be. Repeat softly. I'm choosing to let go of unnecessary pressure. This expression helps you communicate calm and emotional balance. Another natural phrase you can use is, I'm learning to be more present with myself. You might say, I'm learning to be more present with myself in silence. Or, I'm learning to be more present with myself without distractions. Or, I'm learning to be more present with myself and listen to my heart. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to be more present with myself. This phrase creates connection, softness, and deep awareness in your English. Let's continue with a thoughtful expression. I'm discovering what truly helps me feel balanced. You can say, I'm discovering what truly helps me feel balanced. Exercise. Or, I'm discovering what truly helps me feel balanced when I'm overwhelmed. Or, I'm discovering what truly helps me feel balanced in my daily life. Repeat gently. I'm discovering what truly helps me feel balanced. This phrase adds emotional depth to your speech. Another advanced expression fluent speakers often use is, I'm trying to create space for things that matter. You might say, I'm trying to create space for things that matter, like hobbies. Or, I'm trying to create space for things that matter in my calendar. Or, I'm trying to create space for things that matter to my soul. Repeat slowly. I'm trying to create space for things that matter. This expression sounds mature and grounded. Let's practice another natural expression. I'm becoming more confident in who I'm becoming. You can say, change is happening, and I'm becoming more confident in who I'm becoming. Or, I'm becoming more confident in who I'm becoming as a professional. Or, I'm becoming more confident in who I'm becoming every day. Repeat gently. I'm becoming more confident in who I'm becoming. This phrase communicates identity, confidence, and emotional growth. Another phrase fluent speakers use is, I'm learning to guide myself with kindness. You might say, I'm learning to guide myself with kindness through tough decisions. Or, I'm learning to guide myself with kindness instead of criticism. Or, I'm learning to guide myself with kindness on this path. Repeat slowly. I'm learning to guide myself with kindness. This phrase brings warmth and emotional softness to your English. Let's continue with another expressive phrase. I'm realizing how much strength I've gained. You can say, looking back, I'm realizing how much strength I've gained. Or, I'm realizing how much strength I've gained from this struggle. Or, I'm realizing how much strength I've gained in my character. Repeat gently. I'm realizing how much strength I've gained. This expression helps you speak with insight and gratitude. Another natural phrase you can use is, I'm choosing to move forward with intention. You might say, I'm choosing to move forward with intention regarding my career. Or, I'm choosing to move forward with intention and not drift. Or, I'm choosing to move forward with intention in my relationships. Repeat slowly. I'm choosing to move forward with intention. This phrase sounds powerful and fluent. Let's add another calming expression. I'm allowing myself to grow without rushing. You can say, nature doesn't rush, so I'm allowing myself to grow without rushing. Or, I'm allowing myself to grow without rushing my journey. Or, I'm allowing myself to grow without rushing to the finish line. Repeat gently. I'm allowing myself to grow without rushing. This phrase strengthens your emotional fluency. Another advanced phrase fluent speakers love is, I'm trying to find peace in the present moment. You might say, "The future is uncertain, so I'm trying to find peace in the present moment." Or, "I'm trying to find peace in the present moment despite the noise." Or, "I'm trying to find peace in the present moment right here." Repeat slowly. I'm trying to find peace in the present moment. This phrase fills your English with calmness and mindfulness. Let's add another expressive phrase. I'm learning to trust myself more each day. You can say, "It's a process, but I'm learning to trust myself more each day." Or, "I'm learning to trust myself more each day with my voice." Or, "I'm learning to trust myself more each day and doubt less." Repeat softly. I'm learning to trust myself more each day. This expression strengthens self-belief and emotional growth. Another beautiful expression fluent speakers use is, I'm beginning to understand the value of patience. You might say, I wanted it fast, but I'm beginning to understand the value of patience. Or, I'm beginning to understand the value of patience in mastery. Or, I'm beginning to understand the value of patience with others. Repeat slowly. I'm beginning to understand the value of patience. This phrase adds wisdom and maturity to your English. And now, one final expression to close this masterclass. I'm proud of myself for continuing this journey. You can say, it hasn't been easy, but I'm proud of myself for continuing this journey. Or, I'm proud of myself for continuing this journey of self-improvement. Or, I'm proud of myself for continuing this journey toward my dreams. Repeat gently. I'm proud of myself for continuing this journey. Let this phrase stay with you as a reminder of your progress, your commitment, and your strength. You have completed this masterclass. You have learned hundreds of advanced English expressions. You have practiced emotional fluency, natural rhythm, self-awareness, and confident communication. And most importantly, you have taken another powerful step in becoming the fluent English speaker you desire to be. Keep practicing, keep growing, and keep trusting your progress. You are doing better than you think.